Good morning, scholars. It is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, and we are starting PBL number 2. PBL number 2 can be found on the Empowered Learning at Home third grade page. Right in the spot where PBL 1 was, you can actually see PBL 1 is still here. Again, remember you can also log into your Spring ISD portal on the right-hand side of this document as well. Here's where you can access Schoology to join conferences with your teachers and to submit your work. If you need any tutorial help on how to use Schoology or navigating, they're also here on this page. So let's dive in. Our PBL is called Community Park Builder. Okay. When you open this document, this is a document that is being viewed by every third grader and every third grade teacher in Spring ISD. So you can make a copy if you're in your Spring ISD portal. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to go to. So this is my copy. Okay. I want to draw your attention to page 2. Very important. This is your reading log. Okay. Reading log is due at the end of your PBL. It's due on May 21st. So please make sure that you're reading 30 minutes a day and that you're writing it down on either your paper copy, or if you're using your computer like I am, I can actually type in here. And the book that I'm currently reading is called The Wonkiest Witch. Okay, and I'll put their author's name and then also the time I spent reading today. Okay. You can access the book at the end of the PBL, which is called Mystery Mouths. It's nonfiction. Or you can click on the link here and it will take you to Scholastic Learning at Home, where you can read some interesting magazines and books. But make sure you are working on your reading log as well. Practicing your multiplication facts every day is super important. So we don't want to get rusty on that. So you have your 12 up to your 12 times tables. And there's a multiplication choice board on page 31, so you can do some activities. So here's our challenge brief starting on page 4. This part is the same, welcoming you to the PBL and how much fun this is going to be. But this week we're developing a park and writing a proposal. So this is all about math and science with a little bit of writing thrown in. Your construction team has been asked to build a new community park in your town. The Parks and Recreation Office wants to make sure that this park has everything it needs and is environmentally friendly. You'll be designing and building a model of this new park, and you'll have to pitch your idea to the City Council for approval. Let's get started. This sounds really interesting. So, our question that's going to drive our work: how can we design a community park? By conserving resources and or using natural resources. So let's break that down. Design means to create or plan. And so we're going to have to write some things out. We're going to have to sketch some things out. We're going to have to draw some things. And then we're going to have to conserve resources, because this is a community park and we want everybody to be able to use it. And so we're going to have to make sure that we're conserving resources or saving resources. A resource is something that we use to do other things. And then natural resources are those that come from nature that can be replenished or renewed. So that is your project. Here are the requirements. You're going to design, you're going to create, you're going to solve, and you're going to practice your math facts. So it's pretty awesome. If you're working on this online, you can click here. It'll take you to a short version of this text, but it also includes vocabulary. This is your assignment due date sheet. This week we have 3 assignments due. Your T-chart, your slogan, which is pages 10 and 11, and then your math work, so pages 13, 14, and 15. All 3 of those pages of math are due, and then 2 other pages. So you've got 5 pages to get done this week, but the math is pretty easy, and I'll show you in a minute. All right, Ignite. This is the first part of our Empowered Learning at Home. We need to get our brain on fire and working out. So you're going to read this passage. about natural resources. This is an introduction. So it gets you thinking about things that are renewable resources like trees and water and air, and then non-renewable resources, things that can't be replaced like coal and heat. Pages 8 through 9 is a passage on natural resources. Remember to look at your text features, your headings, your subheadings, your bolded words, which give you your definitions and your vocabulary. This passage is going to help you in your first assignment. So make sure you read that first. All right, so our first assignment is our T chart. Okay, and you can see mine is right here. And it says, think of a park you have visited. Complete the table below by listing renewable and non-renewable resources that you want to include in your eco-friendly park. Explain what makes the item renewable or non-renewable. So I want to first list things I want in my park, and then I want to explain why they're renewable or non-renewable. So it looks pretty simple. So first I'm going to make a list, and then I'm going to explain what makes them renewable or non-renewable. And I'm going to use that article that I read to help me out. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is I want you to include at least 3 of each. 3 renewable resources and 3 non-renewable resources. You have an example here of a garden. A garden would be great in a park. Why? It's a renewable resource because seeds can be planted to grow new plants. So thinking about that, what do I want to see in my park? What have I seen in parks that I think would be good? So a garden, I would say shade trees. You know, those big trees that kind of hang over and kind of have like an umbrella. So shade trees is something that I would include in my park because trees are renewable because they can be cut down and used for paper, wood, and pencils. But we can plant new trees and watch them grow. So that's one thing that I would like to see in my park, shade trees, because I like to be shady and covered up when I'm in the park. Now let me think about a non-renewable item that I want to see in my park. Something that's not renewable, that's not going to come from the earth. I know, water fountain. Now, even though the water is a renewable resource, the fountain itself is made man-made. So the fountain is man-made out of metal, even though the water isn't renewable. Okay. So water fountain would be something that I would include as a non-renewable resource in my park. So I want you to come up with 3 for each side of your own, something that's renewable and then something that's non-renewable. Okay? All right, let's look at our next assignment. Inform with a purpose. Here you're going to write a slogan. You're going to encourage your family, neighbors, friends, and community to reuse and recycle things instead of throwing them away. Write a slogan that reminds them to care about the new community park and the earth. For example, reduce, recycle, reuse. Draw a picture that illustrates your slogan and upload it to Schoology. So remember, our keyword here is encourage. So we're looking at author's purpose when we're looking at this question. So author's purpose. Remember that author's purpose is a reason why an author writes. Can you think about why an author would write a slogan? Slogans are written to persuade, which would be another word for encourage. Those would be synonyms. Okay? So our slogan needs to encourage or persuade our friends and family to reuse and recycle. So you've got a whole sheet here that you can use to create your slogan. You can write this on paper, take a picture of it, and then upload it to Schoology. I can't draw, or I show you my example that I came up with. So be creative, figure it out. You guys can do it. Remember, slogans are things that we are familiar with every day. So Nike slogan is what? Right, just do it. McDonald's has their own slogan. I'm loving it. Good. Even, what is it, Papa John's Pizza? Better ingredients, better people. Papa John's. And then, of course, the classic one, Chuck E. Cheese. For a kid, can be a kid. Come up with your own slogan about how to conserve and save. All right, so that's pages 10 and 11 that need to be done. Next is all about area and perimeter. And of course, a lesson from Miss G would not be complete without a little vocabulary. Here you go. It's the year 2060. They're colonizing Mars. All right. So yeah, you guys know I can't do anything without having my vocabulary video on hand. All right. So area and perimeter. Say hi, Major. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of an object. Okay. So we add the sides. And the area is the amount of square units to fill the inside of an object. So if you're seeing it on graph paper, you count those individual squares to get your area. And then if you have just like a shape, you calculate that by area equals length times width. So you have 3 pages of that to do. In the packet, it's 14, 15, and 16 on your packet. So make sure that you get those done and turned in, all 3. Okay, so the first one is perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around a figure. So make sure that you are using your you are doing your work, show your work. So if I'm finding the perimeter, I'm counting around my squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I have 20 20 centimeters. Sorry, I had a dog licking my hand. All right, so that is that first page. And then you're going to do the next page as well. Okay? All right, so any questions, comments, or concerns about the assignment for this week? Make sure that you reach out to your teachers for assistance, and have a great week. Remember, you can log on to PBL 2 classes at 9 a.m. and 12:50 p.m. in Schoology. Have a great day.